Welcome to this another online video session. So today we'll see brief about this generation of FM. Mainly two types are there: direct method and so here you can see that this is the direct method of FM generation. So another one that is called as the indirect method or Armstrong method of FM generation. So this already we discussed here. So this is the tank circuit, the part of the circuit for the direct method. Look guys, we are not in detail about this circuitry, totally used for the direct method kind of generation of FM. So the main circuitry that he has shown here is the Hartley oscillator. Mainly we are using it as a feedback path connecting between the base and emitter of this transistor. So what they are using, the transistor normally what they are using here is the normally one of the important component of this direct method generation of FM. So capacitor normally they are treating it as a varactor diode. In place of capacitance here what we have shown, so this can be used as a normally varactor diode that is normally going to operate in the reverse bias. Okay. So why we are using here is that, so this varactor diode is actually replacing your capacitance, and that is connected as an important component of this Hartley oscillator, that is a feedback path. Okay, so whatever it is, whether you are using varactor diode or a capacitance, nothing will matter, but only that will matter is this Hartley oscillator tank circuit. So means we have to look into here how you are going to tune the frequency, the resonant frequency or operating frequency of this tank circuit. Okay, having an impact on the capacitance. Okay, so if you look at this one here, the frequency expression what we got, as we already discussed here, it is 1 by 2 pi under square root of L1 plus L2. Normally how we are going to get into C, that like that we are going to get here. But because of the capacitance, now it is replaced by the varactor diode, and now as it is going to operate in the reverse bias, we are going to write in place of plus it is as minus. Okay, that's all. So what is happening here is that, so whenever it is reverse bias it will become minus, and when it will become forward bias it will become plus. The meaning is that, so this expression what it will indicate, the tuning frequency or the resonant frequency of the Hartley oscillator. Okay, so that you have to keep in mind. How you are going to tune the frequency of Hartley oscillator? By controlling the capacitance. Okay, here we are trying to control the capacitance here. Okay, so by controlling the distance between the plates of this capacitor, we are going to vary its capacitance, then thereby we are going to vary the frequency. You can see here, so you can see this reverse biasing or forward biasing of the diode, varactor diode, or in other words, if you reverse bias, you can see it will become minus, means what will happen, the value of this term will be decreasing. So when you reverse bias this, the value of this term will become decreasing, means the denominator is decreasing, means the total value of this resonant frequency is increasing. So what is happening here is that, what I want to tell, so if you reverse bias the varactor diode, means what is happening, the junction width is increasing, means the width between or distance between the plates is increasing. Because of reverse bias, if you do something like this guys, with this small diagram just got it here. So this one is the capacitance or varactor diode, just I have shown here just to make you to understand the thing here. So when m of t is positive, sorry, m of t is negative. Okay, when m of t is negative, because m of t is a message signal which is going to have both positive and negative half cycle. Okay, so during the negative half cycle you can see it is a, what you can say, the value, so the figure is it visible there, so let me check this. sorry for the inconvenience. Now I think now it is okay. This one is you can see here during when a message signal is positive. Okay, that is if you have the full circuit analysis, then you can understand. But right now, what you can just remember and include in your answer is to just to elaborate in detail about this operation of direct method generation of FM. So when during the positive peak, it is going to reverse bias your varactor diode. That is so this one. Let me keep. Okay, now I hope it is now clear. Very easy to understand. So this is C of t. Now we are thinking it as a varactor diode. Okay, that I have shown here like this. So during according to the amplitude variation of the message signal, the biasing of the varactor diode is controlled. Okay, so let us see how during the positive peak of message signal, varactor diode is reverse biased. Okay, so because of reverse biasing, the junction width between the plates is increasing. Junction between the plates is increasing. Width is increasing. Because of the junction width is increasing, capacitance will drop down. So when the capacitance will drop down, okay, during the positive peak, when the capacitance will drop down, okay, obviously the frequency will increase. Similarly, during the negative peak of message signal, here you can see it is going to forward bias your varactor diode. So how this one is going to be linked, that we are not going in deep about that circuit here. A little bit wide circuit is there, but with respect to this block diagram and Hartley oscillator and these typical small bits, we'll try to understand bit detail about this operation of direct method FM generation. So during positive peak of M of t is going to reverse bias your varactor diode. Because of reverse bias, junction width will increase, hence capacitance will decrease. Hence, once capacitance will decrease, you can see denominator will be increasing. As denominator is increasing, denominator is increasing means frequency will increase. That's all. Similarly, when during negative peak of message signal, that is going to forward bias your varactor diode. Okay, so when you going to forward bias the varactor diode means you are trying to increase the junction width. Width between the two plates will be decreasing. So when it is happening, the capacitance will rise. When capacitance will rise, denominator will increase. Okay, when denominator will increase, then total value, that is the frequency, will start decreasing. So this is how, guys, according to the amplitude variation of the message signal, your VCO is going to vary the frequency. So this is what we are going to get here. So this is what we are getting, the frequency modulated output at the output side of the VCO. But how to stabilize this one? So that can be applied here to the mixer, where we are going to compare the frequency modulated output along with the locally generated frequency. Okay, so if there is any frequency difference between these two signals, FM wave and local oscillator signal, then that frequency difference will be assessed by this frequency discriminator circuit. It will be filtered and its equivalent tuning will be done to the voltage controlled oscillator. Means tuning of this Hartley oscillator frequency tuning will be done according to the frequency variation. So this will be in a recursive manner. It will be happening many times in the loop until your output, the FM output, will be stabilized. Until there is no any frequency difference, difference between the FM wave and the local oscillator should be, they should not be there. That is, it should be stabilized. So this is how, guys, you need to explain this one thing. I just wanted to add along with the main explanation of operation of direct method generation of FM here. So what is happening here is that with respect to this block diagram, so whenever you get this question, so you need to explain in detail along with this these two diagrams here, these three diagrams. If it is very good, if you want to include this also, it is very much good and very clearly explained here. So what is happening here is that VCO, it is going to generate at its output the frequency variation according to the amplitude variation of the input message signal. That's all. This is how it is going to generate. How it is going to do that, just now I explained. During positive peak, varactor diode, and if you come back to this one, the varactor diode will be acting like a playing a role of the capacitance in the Hartley oscillator. Okay, so we are going to, means message signal itself is going to change the behavior of the varactor diode, that is by reverse biasing and forward biasing, thereby controlling its capacitance value and thereby controlling the frequency tuning of this frequency Hartley oscillator, and thereby we are going to tune this frequency modulated by what amount uh, the frequency variation should happen. That should be in proportion according to the amplitude variation of the SS signal. Okay, so that will be compared with the local oscillator carrier signal. If there is any frequency difference, that will be assessed by the frequency discriminator, filtered. Again, this will be tuned. VCO will be tuned with the help of the Hartley oscillator, and accordingly, the so this tuning is happening in light with to tell that we are telling by this frequency discriminator we are guiding. Okay, actually we are guiding the VCO so that whatever the frequency variation you are doing at the output, it is not in proportion to the amplitude variation. There is some little bit difference is there. Okay, what we are trying to stabilize here is that we are trying to stabilize, okay, the frequency stabilization we are doing, but exactly in proportion to the amplitude variation. ಇಲ್ಲಿ amplitude variation 5 volt ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5 hertz frequency vary ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು, not 4.8 or 4.7. So in the beginning it will be 4, and later we'll try to stabilize it. After some time it will reach to 5 or nearly 4.99 hertz, something like that. So this is how we are telling to the VCO, we are tuning the VCO with the help of Hartley oscillator, varactor diode, biasing control, and telling the VCO that how uh, closely you reach to the amplitude variation of the message signal, and accordingly by changing the frequency variation at its output. So this is how you have to try to explain about this direct method generation of FM. So next one, today we'll see the Armstrong method of generation of wideband frequency signal. Okay, so here basically this is the indirect method because we will be depending on NBFM here, narrowband frequency modulating block. As usual, the message signal will be applied here. This is quite different from the direct method. Integrator is coming because this one in NBFM, one of the expression we have here, integrator is there. We want the integration of the message signal, so that's why that message signal should first pass through the integrator here. Okay, then its output, integrator output, is applied as input to the phase modulator, where locally generated crystal oscillation frequency will also be applied as input here. With the help of these two, we are able to get the narrowband frequency modulated signal, that is S of t. Okay, so when you apply this S of t, NBFM, as input to frequency multiplier, we are going to get the wideband FM, that is S dash of t. Let us see how this one is going to happen. So that's what we are telling. At first stage, the signal is used to produce the narrowband FM. The first step of generation of FM by the indirect method is we are going to generate NBFM using the message signal. That is the first step. So in the second step, we are going to use the multiplier, that is a frequency multiplier. So that can be used to increase the frequency deviation to the desired level so that it can produce the wideband FM. Narrowband, it is there, very narrow. We'll try to enlarge it with help of frequency multiplier so that we'll get the wideband FM. That is a simple concept. How we are getting wideband FM? Simply by enlarging the narrowband FM by using the frequency multiplier. But for that we need narrowband FM, so that at first we need to produce here. So that's why this Armstrong wideband, the name after the person who invented. First thing we want NBFM, we have to produce, then we have to enlarge it with the help of the multiplier. That's all. This is how we are going to get wideband FM here. So let us see how it is going to happen here. Okay, so two diagrams just I have quoted here. to let you know internally what is happening here. Message signal initially in the first stage M of t can be used to generate NBFM. This already explained, that you can include as a part of your answer. Okay, so integrator we are using because we want integrator as one of the integral of M of t as one of the parameter or a term as a part of the equation. Okay, phase modulator and crystal oscillator we are using to generate the NBFM. So the S of t, what you are getting? A narrowband FM signal. So this expression already we did as single tone FM. AC cos 2 pi fct plus 2 pi kf integral M of t dt. Now what is happening here, when you give a narrowband FM S of t as input to this one frequency multiplier, so frequency multiplier will consist of one nonlinear device, that is a memoryless nonlinear device, okay, and one band pass filter which is tuned to the frequency of n times fc. So these two parts will be there in the multiplier. Okay, so what is happening here is that we have here input as NBFM to the memoryless nonlinear device. So nonlinear device is normally, it is going to produce the output like this: A1 S of t. S of t we know, that is a NBFM signal, plus A2 NBFM, that is S of t square, and so on. Further harmonics we are getting, we are not much interested with that one. We are just interested with the initial, the first term itself, A1 S of t. A1 I will just try to write it as AC, the carrier amplitude. Cos, same thing, because AC is coming here. A1 means AC. Cos 2 pi fc dash t plus 2 pi kf dash integral M of t d. Dash I am using to just to differentiate it with those terms which are used in the S of t. Okay, so here fc is, the fc dash is nothing but what I am using, n times fc, and kf dash sensitivity parameter I am using it as n times kf, and beta dash similarly I want to use it as n times beta. Here till n it will indicate the number of the multipliers what you are using. Okay, so the number of terms, how we are getting the number of multipliers, it will depend on the multipliers. Okay, so this how what we are doing. So memoryless nonlinear device, its output is like this. Okay, means this output we are getting, and next this will be given as input to the band pass filter which is tuned to n times fc. Okay, n times fc which is tuned, then output what we are getting, only S dash of t this much. So further all these terms, higher order harmonic terms are there which will be containing n times fc will be neglected. Only n times fc will be passed, band pass filter. Okay, means it is going to, so this band pass filter is tuned to this first term only, to select the first term, not the later term. Okay, so this is how guys we are able to generate the wideband FM signal with the help of the Armstrong or indirect method. So let us see some of the numericals which are quite frequently asked in the exam. So these are very important. We want to spare some time here. Let us listen here all of you carefully how we can able to understand this in NBFM or WFM extra things with the help of these numericals here. So block diagram of FM transmitter is shown in the figure. So one thing I want to suggest all of you here is that, so as long as you are dealing with the NBFM or WFM, I want you to remember this one. Okay, so frequency multiplier, what it will do in WFM, frequency multiplier is the, because of frequency multiplier only we are able to get the wide band. We widened the bandwidth of the narrow, okay, with the help of frequency multiplier, which is multiplying by a factor of n. It is going to multiply your frequency input, it is also going to multiply your frequency deviation input, it is also going to multiply your modulation index input, nf, n beta, n delta f, like that. If you have multiple multipliers, then we will be having n1, n2, like that. Here you can see 2 multipliers are used for the given problem here. Okay. So the block diagram of FM transmitter is shown here. This one is the block diagram. Okay. So NBFM will be the input, and if it is going to pass through the two multipliers, obviously we are getting the WBFM at the output. So what you have to compute here? Compute the maximum frequency deviation delta F of the output of the FM transmitter, means delta F dash here we have to get. Okay, and the carrier frequency FC. If F1 means this frequency he has given is 200 kilohertz, and local oscillator 1, it is going to generate 10.8 megahertz, this local oscillator. Then delta F1 frequency deviation 1 he has given 25 hertz, and N1, it is a multiplying factor, it is going to multiply everything by 64 here, and N2 it is going to multiply everything by 48. So delta F dash here, the maximum frequency deviation at the output is given by the formula. We know the formula for the frequency deviation, that is delta F is nothing but N into delta F1. Okay, so what is this one? Delta F dash equal to, you need to multiply these two multipliers here, N1 into N2, two multipliers are there, and their multiplying factors are N1 and N2, you need to multiply into delta F1. So the first frequency deviation what it has been given is 25 hertz, and substitute here. So we'll get the final frequency deviation at the output is 76.8 kilohertz. Okay, if you want you can go like this also, that is a delta F dash equal to N1 times delta F3, then okay, better you follow this only, that will take more time. So simple formula, generalized version for the frequency deviation is simply you multiply all the multiplying factors of the multipliers by the delta F1. So next one what he has asked is a carrier frequency FC at the output, that is given by FC equal to N2 times F3. FC here you can see, FC here you can see it is a N2 times F3 is there. Okay, N2 is given, but F3, what is F3 here? F3 is output of mixer. F3 here it is output of mixer, that is F2 plus or minus FLO, local oscillator. Okay, means we will be getting two values for F3, one will do plus and another one will do minus. So what is F2 here? F2 is again N1 times F1. So if substitute the things here, direct substitution, N1 Fn plus FLO means we'll get this much, and means 23.6 megahertz we will get, and N1 Fn minus FLO will get 2 megahertz something we will get. Okay, you can calculate, just I'm not sure about that one, you can calculate and just cross check by yourself. So if you substitute these two values, you will be getting the two carrier frequencies at the output here based on the two values of F3, that is FC equal to N2 times F3. So two values are there in this range. Similarly, you will be getting two carrier frequencies. One is 1.13 megahertz, another one is 47.2, some kilo or mega, you can check there. But the thing is that how you have to understand this, how we are going to get the WBFM using the NBFM as input, and we are at the disperse of solving this the problems based on the NBFM or WBFM. So another one little bit advanced version guys here, for a wideband frequency modulator. Okay, if a narrow band carrier is F1, that is a 0.1 megahertz, you can write the given thing, F1 0.1 megahertz. Second one is F2, there is 9.5 megahertz, second one. Okay, first one is given, second one it is going to be the local oscillator frequency. Output carrier frequency, now he has given, the previous problem he has asked you to solve it, that is FC. So FC is given, that is 100 megahertz, 100 megahertz is there, and the frequency deviation at the output, that is delta F, that is 75 kilohertz is also given. So it is exactly reverse of that of the previous problem. He has given the output carrier frequency and the deviation, maximum frequency deviation at the output. In the later problem he has asked these two, but now he has given these two. Now he will be asking you to find out N1 and N2, exactly opposite to the previous problem. Okay, now what you can do, calculate the multiplying factors N1 and F2 here. So we'll go as usual. So the maximum frequency deviation at the output, delta F equal to N1, N2, delta F1. So we can substitute here, and we want N1 and N2 we want to solve. So we'll get delta F by delta F1. Delta F, it will indicate maximum frequency deviation at the output 75 kilohertz, divided by delta F1, that is given 20 hertz. If you substitute these two, we will be getting N1 N2 equal to 3750. Now we can see the output carrier frequency at the multiplier 1. Okay, output carrier frequency at the multiplier 1, that is N1 times F1. Output of multiplier 1 is nothing but N1 times F1. Output of mixer, what you are getting, that is N1 F1 minus F2, okay, minus F2 or plus F2. Now output frequency at the multiplier 2, here, that is N2 times N1 Fn minus F2. We took one case here, minus F2, not plus 1. Okay, so suitably you can assume, and accordingly your answer will be getting at the output. N1 F1 minus F2 we are taking here. Now you can make the substitutions here. N2, that is a carrier frequency Fc equal to, so what we are now getting here, N1 into N2. If you multiply these to N1 N2, what you will be getting, N1 into F2, that is the value is 3750. You can substitute here. Okay, then F1 it is given 0.1 megahertz, we can substitute, minus N2 into F2. N2 we have to find out, and F2, so carrier frequency is given, that is 100 megahertz in the problem. So only one unknown variable in this equation is N2. You can solve it using calculator, you will be getting 28.95, around 29. So once you get N2, it is very easy to get N1 by using this simple equation. Simply you divide 3750 by N2, you will get N1, that is around 130 or 129.5, something like that. So this is how, guys, these two varieties we have taken. Such kind of similar problems will be asked many times in the UT question paper. So this is a very important part I have covered today, that is indirect method generation of FM, or Armstrong method, where NBFM will be first implemented by using message signal and phase modulator and integrator, and this NBFM will be used along with the multiplier to zoom in or zoom out to get the wideband frequency modulated signal. So another point what we have covered important before that is an direct method generation of FM signal. So also we have gone through how we can deal with the problems based on the multiple frequency multipliers used in the WBFM. Okay. So next one, another point briefly just we want to cover here, FM stereo multiplexing. So you might have seen, guys, the stereo and mono, this one. Okay, stereo means we'll be having the right and left channels to receive our the whatever the signal we are listening, music signal or audio signal or space signal or whatever. Accordingly, you can see here we are going to multiplex them. Okay, so that's how it is known as the stereo multiplexing. Here we are trying to multiplex both the left hand and right hand message signals, ML of t and MR of t. Okay, we are using this kind of connection is known as a matrixer. Okay, so here what you are getting, at one channel you are getting the summation of left and right, and here you will be getting the subtraction difference of the left and right. Okay, so multiplexer in the transmitter of FM stereo system, the block diagram is shown here. So FM stereo multiplexing is a form of frequency division multiplexing to transmit two separate signals, right and left message signals, through the same carrier. Carrier will be remaining same here. Okay, so what we are doing, so this channel what we are getting, where we are getting the reduced amplitude, or because of the difference its value is going decreasing, we are getting another input here, subcarrier signal, as output of this frequency doubler. So the main input here from the oscillator what we are getting is a 19 kilohertz carrier frequency is generated here. So that carrier frequency is doubled to 38 kilohertz and given as input to this multiplier, where we are getting the difference of the two signals. The summation of two signals will be added here as it is. You can see there is a baseband signal 1, left and right, simply they will be added. Then difference now got multiplied with the doubling of the carrier signal. So that is nothing but if you multiply these two, normally you are going to get the DSB-SS signal, which is tuned to 38 kilohertz here. So 38 kilohertz we are using here to tune uh, as a tuning frequency for your DSB-SC, now to suppress the carrier. So that's why we are going to use the frequency doubler here. So this one is going to tune and able to suppress the carrier, so that we are going to get the DSB-SC signal here. Okay. So another one here you can see we are getting k times 2 pi fct. The k is the multiplying factor times the carrier frequency. So like that, the output what you are going to get, sorry, here. Okay. So in the previous slide you can see here m of t we have generated. This is FM stereo transmitter. Okay. This signal is now traveling long distance, and now it will be given as input to the FM stereo receiver. Similarly, as we have got three terms here. Okay. One is a baseband low pass filtered signal is there. This one summation of the left and right hand signals. Okay. So accordingly we want baseband low pass filter. Another one we want the band pass filter centered to 38 kilohertz, doubling of that carrier frequency, and another one which is tuned to 19 kilohertz. So accordingly here we are getting the summation. Again we need matrixer here to add accordingly, so that we will be getting our SS signal separately, left to left only, right to the right only. At the left you want only summation, and the right you just want the difference. So how to get this ML of t minus MR of t separately? Again, frequency doubler, coherent editor we are using here the with the baseband low pass filter, which is tuned to select only this difference of this one. Okay, DSB-SS signal. Then it will be given as input to this part of matrixer, so that we will be getting right hand SS signal separately. So what we are doing, the whole thing here at the receiver side, stereo receiver side, we are trying to behave like a demultiplexer. We want to separate out left and right signals from the multiplexed this M of t signal. Okay, thank you.